Life can feel overwhelming. We often find ourselves caught in the whirlwind of obligations, responsibilities, and endless tasks. It's easy to get lost in trying to please everyone and meet everyone's expectations. But when was the last time you truly focused on yourself? On your own growth, peace, and freedom? It's a question many of us rarely ask, yet it holds the key to living a more authentic and fulfilling life. We often get so wrapped up in fulfilling the needs and desires of others that we forget to take care of our own. But true freedom doesn't come from meeting every external demand. It comes from letting go of the things that hold us back, be it toxic relationships, unnecessary obligations, or the weight of societal expectations. In today's episode, we're diving into 10 powerful ways to free yourself, to focus on what truly matters, and let go of the things that are keeping you from living a more peaceful, authentic life. This isn't just about simplifying your life. It's about taking control, releasing the unnecessary, and embracing the freedom that comes with living for yourself. Before we get into the powerful strategies and tools that will help you liberate your mind and your life, let me tell you a story that illustrates why this is so crucial. There was a young man named James. He worked tirelessly at his corporate job, always striving to meet the expectations of his boss, his colleagues, and even his family. On the surface, he seemed successful. He was always busy, always in demand, and constantly moving. But despite all his external success, James felt empty. His life felt like a series of tasks to check off, rather than a journey toward something meaningful. One evening, as he sat reflecting on his life, James realized that he had been so focused on meeting the demands of others that he'd completely neglected his own happiness and well-being. It wasn't until he started taking time to focus on himself, his own growth, health, and peace, that he began to feel a real sense of fulfillment. The moral of James's story is simple. If you spend all your energy on pleasing others and fulfilling external expectations, you lose sight of your own goals, your peace, and your true potential. To truly live, you must first focus on yourself and let go of what no longer serves you. So, are you ready to break free? Let's dive into these 10 powerful ways to focus on yourself, let go of distractions, and reclaim your life. 1. Balance yourself with the world. Living in harmony with the world around us is a key tenet of Stoic philosophy, yet it often feels like we're constantly juggling our own needs with the demands of the world. Whether it's work, family, or social obligations, it's easy to get swept up in the tide of external expectations. But true freedom and peace come from achieving a delicate balance between focusing on yourself and contributing to the world around you. The Stoics understood that the first step toward freedom is understanding what is within your control and what is not. In their view, we cannot change the external world, but we can control how we respond to it. And that includes balancing the care for yourself with your role in society. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly focused on others, on giving, on helping, on fulfilling the needs of the world, you'll find yourself depleted, disconnected from your own purpose and desires. But if you only focus on yourself, isolated from the world around you, you'll miss the opportunity to contribute to the community, to make a difference, and to build meaningful connections. This is where true balance comes in. Finding the middle ground means dedicating time and energy to nurturing your own mental and physical well-being, while also engaging with the world in a way that aligns with your values and contributes to the collective good. It's about understanding that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. You can't be effective in the world if you're constantly running on empty. Think of this in terms of energy, both physical and mental. Self-care isn't just about taking a bath or getting a good night's sleep, though those are important. It's about protecting your mental space, setting healthy boundaries, and knowing when to step back and recharge. At the same time, it's about giving of yourself in a way that feels aligned with your values. Whether it's helping a friend, contributing to a cause, or simply showing kindness in your daily interactions, you are participating in the world around you in a way that enriches both you and others. It's easy to fall into the trap of either overcommitting to the needs of others or becoming overly self-centered. But the Stoics teach us to be mindful of our actions and responses. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Your thoughts guide your actions, and when you focus on achieving balance, on giving to others while taking care of your own needs, you create a peaceful inner state that allows you to engage with the world from a place of strength, not exhaustion." The challenge is this: how do we find that balance in our fast-paced, always connected world? The answer is simple, but not always easy. Intentionality. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do today to take care of myself? And what can I do to contribute to the world around me? If you prioritize self-care without neglecting your role in the world, you'll find that both aspects of your life work in harmony, giving you a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Remember, balance isn't about perfection, it's about intention. Focus on what's in your control, nurture yourself, and contribute meaningfully to the world. This balance is the key to freedom, because it allows you to live authentically without sacrificing your own well-being in the process. 2. Emotional freedom and inner release. Emotional freedom is one of the most powerful yet underrated aspects of personal growth. Think about the emotions that dominate your life on a daily basis. Are they empowering you or holding you back? We all carry emotional baggage: resentment, fear, anger, sadness. And while these emotions are natural, they can easily become toxic if we allow them to control us. If we're not careful, they silently weigh us down, keeping us stuck in the past or lost in fear of the future. The Stoics believed in accepting life as it is, without letting our emotions dictate our actions. They taught us that emotions, while inevitable, don't have to rule our lives. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, put it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In other words, we don't control the events that trigger our emotions, but we do control how we respond to them. This shift in perspective is the key to emotional freedom. To be truly free, we must release the toxic emotional attachments that bind us. Think of these emotions as chains, each one holding us back from moving forward. These emotional attachments can be based on past hurts, unspoken grudges, or fears about what might happen. The challenge is to let go of these emotions without letting them define you. Holding on to them only drains your energy and keeps you stuck in an unhealthy cycle of reactivity. The first step toward emotional freedom is awareness. Recognizing when negative emotions arise is the first step in releasing them. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them and then choosing how to respond. When you feel anger bubbling up, instead of acting on it immediately, take a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect. Ask yourself, is this emotion serving me, or is it keeping me stuck in the past? The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to release toxic emotions and make space for healthier, more productive responses. Another crucial part of emotional freedom is accepting the impermanence of emotions. Our emotions are like waves. They come and go. Just because you feel angry or sad doesn't mean you have to hold on to that emotion forever. By acknowledging that emotions are temporary, you can detach from them and let them pass, just as you would let go of a wave as it moves along the shore. This process of letting go also requires forgiveness, both of others and of yourself. Holding on to grudges or blaming others for your emotional state only prolongs your suffering. To release toxic emotions, you must practice forgiveness, not for the other person, but for yourself. Let go of the need for justice or retribution and choose to free yourself from the weight of resentment. Emotional freedom doesn't mean you'll never feel negative emotions again. It means that you'll no longer be a prisoner to them. You'll have the power to choose how to respond, and you'll no longer let your emotions control your actions. This gives you the clarity and peace needed to live with purpose and authenticity. So, how do you begin to release these toxic emotional attachments? Start by acknowledging the emotions you're carrying. Take a moment to reflect on what's weighing you down. Then, choose to let go. Practice forgiveness. Focus on the present. Don't let past emotions dictate your future. Remember, true freedom comes when you stop letting emotions control your life. You are the one who holds the key to your emotional peace. 3. Inner peace. Through acceptance. Imagine a life where you no longer fight against reality, where you accept things as they are instead of constantly wishing they were different. This might sound impossible, but it's the essence of true inner peace. Acceptance is not about passivity or resignation. It's about embracing life's imperfections and letting go of the constant need for control. When you learn to accept what is, you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change, and you start living with a profound sense of peace and freedom. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, taught us that we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses, and leave the rest to unfold naturally. He famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This perspective shifts the way we approach challenges and difficulties. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to a life of passivity. It means acknowledging that some things are outside of our control and learning to let go of the need to change them. Think about the things you've spent the most energy resisting. Perhaps it's the weather, the actions of others, or even the circumstances of your past. These things are beyond your control, but by accepting them, you free yourself from the grip they have on your mind. Take, for example, the issue of unmet expectations. We often expect life to go according to our plan, whether it's with our career, relationships, or personal achievements. When things don't go the way we expect, we become frustrated, anxious, or resentful. But when you practice acceptance, you release the expectation that life must unfold a certain way. You let go of the frustration, knowing that life will take its own course, and you have the power to choose how you respond. This doesn't mean you stop pursuing your goals or striving for better outcomes. It means that you stop attaching your happiness or peace to the outcomes themselves. You stop clinging to the idea that things must go a certain way for you to be at peace. Instead, you focus on doing your best, regardless of the results, and trust that things will unfold as they're meant to. By surrendering to reality, you gain a sense of calm that allows you to move through life with more grace and less resistance. This inner peace through acceptance also extends to accepting yourself. Many of us spend our lives trying to meet unrealistic standards or criticizing ourselves for perceived flaws. But true peace comes when you accept yourself, imperfections and all. It's about recognizing that you are enough as you are, without needing to change for the approval of others or to meet some idealized version of yourself. Acceptance also requires letting go of the fear of the unknown. So many of us fear uncertainty, but uncertainty is a natural part of life. By accepting that the future is unpredictable, you release the need to control every aspect of it. This acceptance doesn't make you passive, it makes you proactive. It frees you from the fear that holds you back and empowers you to take action, knowing that you cannot predict every outcome. So, how can you begin to practice acceptance in your life? Start by identifying the things you are resisting. What aspects of your life are you trying to control that are beyond your reach? Are there areas where you're holding on to anger, frustration, or anxiety because things aren't going as you imagined? These are the areas where you can practice acceptance. Acknowledge what you cannot change and let go of the need to control it. Remember, true peace comes not from fighting against life, but from accepting it as it is. By releasing the need to control every situation and by embracing the present moment, you open yourself to a life of calmness and inner freedom. 4. Focus on your goals and let go of procrastination. Have you ever caught yourself putting off something that you know is important? Maybe it's a work project you've been avoiding, a personal goal you've been delaying, or something as simple as tidying up your space. Procrastination is something we all deal with, but it's also one of the biggest obstacles to achieving our goals. Every time we put something off, we steal precious time that could be used to make progress toward what really matters. The problem with procrastination is that it's often fueled by fear of failure, fear of perfectionism, or simply the discomfort of starting something new. We convince ourselves that we'll be more motivated tomorrow or that we'll feel more inspired later. But the truth is, waiting for the perfect moment rarely leads to action. More often than not, it leads to stagnation. This is where the Stoics offer profound wisdom. They taught that the key to moving forward is to focus on what you can control and let go of everything else. When it comes to procrastination, we often wait for the ideal conditions before we act, but the Stoics remind us that perfect timing rarely exists. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, said, "Don't wait for the perfect moment, just act, and the perfect moment will come." The Stoics understood that the only time we truly control is now. To break free from procrastination, we must focus on our goals, not on the fear of starting. The key is to take one small action at a time. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture, just a simple step toward what you're trying to achieve. Often the hardest part is starting. Once you begin, the momentum will carry you forward. Take a moment to think about your goals. What's been holding you back from pursuing them? What's the first small step you can take today to get started? The Stoic approach is about making incremental progress, not waiting for everything to fall into place. It's about doing what's in front of you with intention and purpose, rather than letting distractions or fear take the lead. Another important part of focusing on your goals is learning how to say no. Procrastination often occurs because we allow ourselves to be distracted by less important things. Every time we say yes to something that doesn't align with our goals, we are saying no to progress. Being disciplined about saying no to distractions gives you the space and energy to focus on what really matters. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect or doing everything right. It's about consistently taking action, even when it feels difficult. By taking small steps every day, you build a momentum that makes progress inevitable. Whether it's working on a long-term project, improving your health, or building better habits, the key to success is action. And action begins with the first step. Procrastination thrives in the absence of clear goals. So, the more clearly defined your goals are, the easier it becomes to act. Make sure you know exactly what you're working toward, break it down into manageable tasks, and then take action. Each day that you commit to working on your goals, no matter how small the task, you move closer to your dreams. Remember, the best time to start is always now. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect, because they never will be. Focus on the present moment, take action, and let go of procrastination. Every small step you take today brings you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. 5. Free yourself from societal expectations. In a world that's constantly telling you who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live, it's easy to lose sight of who you truly are. Society has a way of imposing its values and standards on us, whether it's through the media, social norms, or even well-meaning family and friends. These expectations shape the way we view success, happiness, and fulfillment, often leaving us feeling trapped in a life that doesn't feel like our own. But what if you stopped living according to everyone else's expectations? What if you started listening to your own inner voice, tuning out the noise of society, and focused on what truly matters to you? Freedom doesn't come from meeting the standards others set for us. It comes from defining success on your own terms, based on your values, your passions, and your unique vision for your life. This is one of the most powerful lessons the Stoics have to offer. The Stoics believed in living authentically, regardless of what others thought. They understood that we cannot control the opinions of others, and we shouldn't try to. Instead, they focused on living a life in alignment with virtue, wisdom, and inner peace, not external validation. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This means that true freedom comes from being in control of your life and your choices, not from trying to conform to the expectations of others. The first step in freeing yourself from societal expectations is recognizing where they exist in your life. What parts of your day, your career, or your relationships are shaped by what others think you should do, rather than what you truly desire? Take a moment to reflect on these areas. Are you choosing a career because it's what you're passionate about, or because it's what society says is successful? Are you chasing relationships based on what others expect, or are you choosing people who truly align with your values? This doesn't mean rejecting society altogether. It means questioning the norms and expectations that don't serve you. It means recognizing that you have the right to choose your own path, even if it's different from the one others have laid out for you. The Stoics believed that our happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but on how we respond to them. And part of that response is taking the power back and deciding what matters most to you. Living authentically means embracing your true self, not the version of yourself that fits neatly into societal expectations. It means having the courage to follow your own path, even if it means going against the grain. It's about finding the confidence to say no to things that don't serve your purpose, and saying yes to what aligns with your values and goals. When you free yourself from the weight of societal expectations, you create space for your true self to emerge. You stop worrying about what others think, and instead, focus on what makes you feel fulfilled and at peace. You begin to live a life that is truly yours, one that is shaped by your own choices, not the pressures of the world around you. So, how do you begin to break free from these expectations? Start by asking yourself, what do I truly want in life, regardless of what society tells me? Reconnect with your values, your passions, and your dreams. Let go of the pressure to meet other people's standards and start defining success on your own terms. Trust that by living authentically, you will find a deeper sense of fulfillment, peace, and true freedom. 6. Move away from excessive consumption. In a world constantly pushing more possessions, more experiences, more validation, it's easy to get swept up in the endless cycle of consumption. We are told that happiness lies in acquiring more, the latest gadgets, the trendiest clothes, the biggest houses. But have you ever stopped to consider that the more you consume, the less free you actually feel? Excessive consumption creates a paradox. It promises happiness, but often delivers stress, emptiness, and the constant anxiety of never having enough. We get trapped in a cycle of wanting more, only to find that the more we acquire, the more we feel like something is missing. The truth is, real freedom is found not in accumulating more, but in learning to live with less. It's in the release of the constant need for more possessions, more stimulation, and more external validation. The Stoics believed in the power of simplicity. They understood that the pursuit of material wealth often distracts us from the pursuit of true fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." By reducing our wants, we liberate ourselves from the chains of consumerism, and in doing so, we create more space for peace, clarity, and authentic happiness. Take a moment to reflect on your own consumption. How many of the things you buy, the habits you develop, or the experiences you chase are actually necessary for your well-being and happiness? How often do you find yourself buying something because it's trending, because it's expected, or because someone else told you it would make you happy? The truth is, a lot of our desires are shaped by external forces, advertising, social media, and peer pressure, rather than by our true needs and values. The challenge here is not to reject all consumption, but to become mindful of what we consume and why. The Stoics weren't opposed to possessions or wealth, they were opposed to allowing them to control us. They practiced what is known as voluntary poverty, a mindset where they chose to live simply, without the attachment to luxury and excess. By doing so, they freed themselves from the grip of materialism and in the process found deeper fulfillment. How do we apply this to our modern lives? Start by questioning your desires. Ask yourself, do I need this or do I just want it? Instead of automatically purchasing something, take time to reflect on whether it will truly add value to your life. Can you live without it? Will it bring you lasting happiness, or is it just a fleeting pleasure? Simplify your life by focusing on what truly matters: relationships, health, personal growth, rather than the accumulation of things. Start small. Consider decluttering your home or digital life. Let go of items that no longer serve a purpose or add value. When you free yourself from the clutter of material possessions, you create space for the things that truly bring you joy: experiences, meaningful relationships, and personal growth. You'll find that living with less doesn't mean sacrificing happiness. It means making room for more of what matters. This process of reducing consumption is liberating. It allows you to focus on what truly nourishes your soul, rather than constantly chasing after things that ultimately leave you empty. The less you consume, the more you find that you don't need to rely on external things for happiness. True freedom comes when you are content with what you have, and when you no longer feel the need to constantly acquire more. 7. Break free from restricting traditions. In every culture, there are traditions and expectations that shape the way we live our lives. Some of these traditions are meaningful and enriching, helping us build community, preserve values, and create shared experiences. But not all traditions serve us. Some are restrictive, outdated, and hold us back from becoming our truest selves. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a tradition that no longer fits who you are or the person you want to become? Whether it's a family expectation, a cultural norm, or a societal standard, many of us find ourselves bound by traditions that feel like shackles. These invisible chains dictate how we think we should behave, what we should value, and even how we should live our lives. The problem is, when we follow these traditions mindlessly, we stop thinking for ourselves. We let external forces decide our path, instead of choosing it for ourselves. The Stoics taught us the importance of living according to reason and nature, not just blindly adhering to external pressures. They believed that true freedom comes from being authentic and making choices that align with our personal values rather than conforming to societal expectations. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This quote is a powerful reminder that if we spend our lives living according to traditions that don't serve us, we're wasting precious time that could be spent building the life we truly want. Breaking free from restricting traditions isn't about rejecting everything. It's about questioning what truly serves you and what holds you back. It's about finding the courage to step outside the norms that confine you and choose a path that reflects your true self. This may mean challenging family expectations, questioning cultural norms, or simply re-evaluating the traditions you've always accepted without questioning them. Take a moment to think about the traditions or expectations in your own life. Are there any that are limiting your growth or making you feel stuck? Maybe it's a career path that you chose because it was expected, or a lifestyle choice that doesn't align with your true values. Perhaps it's something as simple as an annual tradition you feel obligated to participate in, even though it no longer brings you joy. The Stoics taught that we should live in accordance with virtue, not external influences. True freedom comes when we stop letting societal pressures dictate our choices, and instead make decisions based on what we believe is right for us. This doesn't mean rejecting all traditions. It means embracing the ones that enrich our lives and letting go of the ones that no longer serve us. Breaking free from restricting traditions requires introspection and courage. It's about looking at your life with fresh eyes and asking, does this tradition align with who I am and where I want to go? If the answer is no, it might be time to step away and create your own path. When you break free from these limitations, you free yourself to become the person you were meant to be. You allow yourself to grow, evolve, and embrace your true identity. It's not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's about creating the space to live authentically, according to your own values, and in a way that brings you peace and fulfillment. So, take a moment to reflect on the traditions or expectations you're holding on to. Are they helping you live your best life, or are they holding you back? Break free from the ones that no longer serve you, and embrace the freedom that comes from living authentically. 8. Let go of toxic habits and focus on well-being. We all have habits, some good, some bad, that shape our daily lives. But what happens when those habits start to harm us? When they're not just harmless routines, but toxic patterns that drain our energy, limit our growth, and keep us stuck in unhealthy cycles. Toxic habits can be anything from poor eating habits to negative self-talk, or even unhealthy relationships that drain us rather than lift us. They can silently erode our well-being, stealing our energy and peace without us even realizing it. The truth is, Unhealthy habits are often more than just a series of actions. They're ingrained in our mindset, in the way we approach life. We get used to living in a certain way, and before we know it, those small habits have become the foundation of our day-to-day existence. But the good news is that breaking free from toxic habits is possible. It starts with recognizing them, taking responsibility for them, and choosing to let them go. The Stoics were deeply focused on self-discipline and the cultivation of virtues like temperance, courage, and wisdom. They believed that in order to live a fulfilling life, we must constantly strive to rid ourselves of harmful behaviors that undermine our happiness and peace. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." The Stoics weren't interested in just talking about the ideal life. They wanted to live it. They knew that achieving the life they wanted required actively letting go of unhealthy habits that stood in the way of their personal growth. So, how do we start? The first step in letting go of toxic habits is awareness. Many times, we don't even realize how certain habits are affecting our well-being. Maybe it's overindulging in food or drink, spending too much time on social media, or procrastinating instead of pursuing our goals. These habits don't just impact our physical health, they affect our mental and emotional state as well. It's time to take a step back and reflect on the habits that are holding us back. Once you've identified these toxic habits, it's time to take action. Self-discipline is about making intentional choices that serve your long-term well-being. It's about choosing the healthier path, even when it's more difficult. The Stoics weren't advocates for living a life of denial, but they emphasized the importance of balance. They believed that excess, whether in food, drink, or behavior, was a form of self-destruction. Moderation, on the other hand, leads to a life of fulfillment and peace. For example, if you've identified a habit that is affecting your physical health, like overeating or not exercising, take small, actionable steps to change. You don't need to go on an extreme diet or exercise regimen. Start by making healthier choices each day, whether that's cooking a meal at home instead of ordering takeout, or taking a short walk instead of watching another episode of your favorite show. These small steps add up over time and create lasting change. Another area to focus on is your mindset. Negative self-talk, the habit of criticizing yourself or focusing on what's wrong, can be just as toxic as any physical habit. It drains your mental energy and keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. Practice replacing those negative thoughts with more compassionate and constructive ones. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a close friend. The beauty of focusing on well-being is that it's not just about eliminating harmful habits. It's about creating new, positive ones that uplift you. Focus on habits that nourish your mind, body, and soul. Take time each day to care for yourself, whether it's through meditation, reading, exercising, or spending time with loved ones. These habits will strengthen your resilience and bring you closer to the life you want. So, if you're ready to let go of the habits that are holding you back, start by recognizing them. Reflect on what's no longer serving you and take small steps to change. Break free from the toxic cycles and create new habits that promote your well-being. Remember, true freedom comes when we take control of our actions and make choices that nurture our growth, peace, and happiness. 9. Release the need for approval. How often do you find yourself seeking validation from others? Maybe it's through likes on social media, approval from your peers, or even the desire to meet the expectations of your family or colleagues. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the need for approval. We're constantly seeking external validation to feel worthy, secure, and accepted. But here's the truth. Seeking validation from others is a trap that holds us back from living authentically and freely. The Stoics understood the power of inner independence. They knew that true freedom and peace come not from seeking approval, but from defining your own values and living in accordance with them. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This applies not only to life's challenges, but to how we respond to others' opinions as well. Your sense of worth should never be dependent on the approval or opinions of others. It should come from within. Think about the times you've made decisions based on what others thought of you. Perhaps it was choosing a career path, buying something you didn't really need, or holding back on something you truly wanted to say because you were worried about how others would react. When we make choices based on the desire for approval, we compromise our authenticity. We suppress our true selves to fit into a mold created by others. The challenge here is not to disregard others' opinions altogether, but to stop letting them define your worth. You can still value others' feedback without letting it control your actions. The key is to learn to trust your own judgment and to define your success on your own terms. The Stoics believed that we should strive to live in accordance with virtue, not external expectations. Your worth is not determined by how many people approve of you or how well you fit into societal norms. Your worth is inherent. It's tied to the choices you make and the values you uphold. To start releasing the need for approval, begin by examining the areas in your life where you seek validation. Is there a particular person or group whose approval you are chasing? Is it affecting your decision-making? Ask yourself, am I making this decision because it aligns with my values or because I want others to approve of me? The more you can reflect on this, the more you'll realize that many of your actions are driven by the desire to be accepted or liked rather than by your true purpose. True freedom comes when you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others. It's about accepting that not everyone will understand or agree with your choices, and that's okay. What matters is that you're living a life that is authentic and aligned with your inner values. The Stoics taught us that our happiness comes from within, through mastering our emotions, controlling our reactions, and living in accordance with virtue. Releasing the need for approval doesn't mean being indifferent or rejecting others. It means trusting yourself, listening to your inner voice, and making decisions that reflect your true desires and goals. It means no longer letting the fear of rejection or judgment control your actions. So, how can you begin to release the need for approval? Start by practicing self-acceptance. Affirm to yourself that you are enough, just as you are. Focus on living in a way that feels true to you, not based on what others expect or think. Seek feedback from trusted people, but ultimately, trust your own judgment. When you stop seeking validation from others, you'll find that you can live more freely and authentically. 10. Reinvent yourself and free your mind from limitations. We often think of ourselves as fixed entities. This is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I'm capable of. But the truth is, the only thing that truly limits you is the story you've been telling yourself about who you are. Your mind holds the keys to freedom, and by breaking free from the mental limits you've placed on yourself, you can reinvent who you are and unlock your true potential. From childhood, we're told who we should be, what we should strive for, and what success looks like. Over time, we internalize these ideas and they become our beliefs. We become attached to identities that are formed by others, by family, society, or our past experiences. The danger here is that these identities, while they may have served us at one point, can start to limit our growth and potential. We box ourselves in, believing that we're incapable of doing things that don't fit within the identity we've created. But what if you could break free from those limitations? What if you could choose a new narrative for yourself, one that isn't dictated by past experiences or societal expectations, but by your own desires, dreams, and aspirations? Freedom comes when you realize that you are not defined by your past or by any label that has been placed on you. You have the power to reinvent yourself at any moment. The Stoics understood the importance of self-mastery and self-awareness. They believed that it's not external circumstances that define us, but our response to those circumstances. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that you are not a prisoner of your past, nor are you confined by labels or limitations. You have the power to choose how you respond to life, and by doing so, you can create a new path for yourself. To reinvent yourself, you need to challenge the beliefs that limit you. Begin by asking yourself, what stories have I been telling myself about who I am and what I can do? Are there beliefs you've held on to because they were instilled in you by others, or because you've faced failure in the past and allowed it to define your future? Now recognize that those stories do not have to define you anymore. You are not a product of your past failures or mistakes, and you do not have to live by the expectations others have set for you. The key to reinvention is to start by changing your mindset. Begin to see yourself as someone capable of growth, change, and success, no matter where you've been or what you've faced. Don't limit yourself by thinking, "This is just the way I am." Instead, ask yourself, what could I be? What could I achieve if I let go of my limiting beliefs and took action? The next step is to take bold action toward your new identity. Reinvention is not a passive process. It requires you to make choices that reflect the person you want to become. It might mean stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying new things, or pursuing a path that's different from what you thought was possible. But each step you take will help solidify the new narrative you are creating for yourself. In Stoic thought, the key to living a fulfilling life is to align your actions with your values and purpose. By reinventing yourself, you are aligning your actions with your true potential. You are freeing yourself from the chains of past limitations and choosing a new path that reflects your authentic self. So, start today. Let go of the beliefs that have held you back and begin to craft a new story for yourself. Free your mind from the limitations you've set and take action to create the life you want. Remember, reinvention is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. As we wrap up today's episode, take a moment to reflect on the power you have within you. The ability to focus on yourself, let go of what holds you back, and create the life you truly desire lies in your hands. Each of the 10 powerful strategies we've discussed, from focusing on yourself to freeing your mind from limitations, offers a step toward a more authentic, peaceful, and fulfilling life. The Stoics taught us that true freedom comes from within. It's not about external circumstances, but about how we respond to them. It's about letting go of the things, habits, and beliefs that hold us down, and making the intentional choice to live authentically. The journey won't always be easy, and there will be times when you stumble. But remember, each step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life you're meant to live. So, I encourage you today, start focusing on yourself. Release the need for approval. Let go of toxic habits and break free from societal pressures. Reinvent yourself and begin living in alignment with your values and purpose. This is your life, and the power to shape it is yours. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue spreading the wisdom of Stoicism and self-development to those who need it most. And remember, the journey to freedom and authenticity starts now, so take that first step today. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to having you join me in the next episode. Stay focused, stay true to yourself, and keep moving forward on your journey to becoming the best version of you.